You know, it's funny hearing all these gamers talking about save Red Dead Online. And they keep asking the questions about, why, where's the new DLC and everything. And, they be on each other's channels. And they be talking about what their perspective is on where the new DLC is. How come Rockstar isn't saying anything? And it's like, it's basically like the analogy of a kid playing with a Tonka truck versus an actual mechanic that knows how to make a truck or knows how to build one. Everybody is talking about this stuff, but no, I've never seen in any of these videos talk to an actual game developer about what do they think at least on why there's no DLC. So basically, I'm going to do it for them. Now, my background is writing, game development, and being a comic book artist. Now, since Red Dead Redemption and Rockstar have the assets to make a DLC, they already have everything there. They could have just made straight up contact missions. There's no dialogue. They could just have contact missions. Just random contact missions somewhere. They won't do it because it does not take long for them to do at least that. That is the barest minimum that they can do on this game. Just contact missions. Just like when GTA with Gerald, Lamar, Lester, they could have seriously done that and just said, here's your DLC. Just to tie people over. Nothing that spectacular. Then you got, on the other hand, there's a lot of stuff going on that nobody really, I think some people may have touched on it, but there seems like there's a lot of internal, like, problems going on with Rockstar Games. Case in point, Dan Houser. Now, usually when people step down, especially from a big position like him, they was going through some type of scandal. Like sexual harassment. Usually is that. But then he just ups and leaves without saying exactly why he left. Now, Leslie Benzies, who had like some like legal problems with Rockstar and Take-Two, it was a legal dispute. It was like he wanted like $100 million or something like that. Laszlo Jones, he stepped down because he had like relatives going through health crisis. At least, like, even if people wanted to buy it or not, it seemed like plausible. Like, okay, he got family that's sick and everything, so he stepped down. But Dan Houser, he just leaves, and he's like the main writer of these Rockstar games. Him and his brother basically founded the shit. His brother's still there, but he steps down. Why? Who knows? And nobody really finds that odd, or like, why did he step down? For what reason? But on the game development side, like, you have this what's called the enhanced version of GTA 5, and then while people's talking about where's Red Dead Redemption's DLC, it seems like, from what we've heard, that they're going to mention GTA 6 this year. So, from what it seems like is they moved a lot of like the Red Dead Redemption crew over to GTA 6, so because of the crunch culture, they're trying to crunch this game. Even though they could still have a skeleton crew to work on Red Dead, but they're not doing no skeleton crew. So that's one thing it seems like that happened. That they moved a lot of Red Dead Redemption's resource to their primary game. Then it goes back to this thing I said a couple like weeks ago that Rockstar did not intend this to be a GTA, but it's like the fans of Red Dead wanted it to be something that Rockstar and GTA didn't intend this to be in the first place. They didn't intend this to be as big as what people wanted it to be. But then people wanted it, they see people really wanted this to be big, and Rockstar's kind of like, I wouldn't say caught in a rock and a hard place, but it's like, we really didn't want this to be that big, but people asking for it, so we got to do something. But we got to work on our main bread and butter project. And then it goes to the thing like with GTA 6, why is it taking 10 years? Again, it doesn't take you 10 years to make a video game. Nowhere close. It does not take you that long to make a video game, especially when you have damn near everything that you need from GTA 4, 5, and Red Dead Redemption. You have everything that you need. You're just gonna update like a lot of the assets that's already there, which doesn't take long. When you got like a whole like 4,000 plus man team in your company, it doesn't take you that long. The only two parts that really take a long time for a video game is the acting and the coding and programming to the game. But like doing character models, doing assets to a game, that does not take you long. Even the terrain to a certain degree doesn't take, hell, the terrain doesn't take you long, because even if we say that GTA 6 is set in Miami, you already have the swampland, what's it called, Lemoyne, or whatever the name of the place is. You already have the swamp in Red Dead Redemption as your template right there. So it's not like, because Florida has a lot of swamps. You already have it here. So there's no real reason to invent the wheel. Because you have, not saying that you're going to actually take Red Dead's stuff and use it like a one-to-one creation, but it's like it wouldn't take long for them to modify it. Because that's one of the things you're supposed to do when you're making a video game. Give yourself room to create something that you could like modify later. So they already have that. So you know what I'm saying? They don't need to make a snowy area, because there's no snow-capped mountains in Florida. So a lot of this stuff you really don't need, but they have it if they do need it. You see what I'm saying? So what is this? So you don't need to. They don't need to do all this like hard work. That's the odd thing about GTA 6. Like, why is it taking so long? The only thing I can see why it's taking so long is it's in development hell, because we heard that the rumor was that it's supposed to be set in the 80s, and then it was supposed to progress through time, through like the 90s, and I guess through present day, and it was going to change like the city. It's rather, and then they was probably like, like somewhere halfway into development, they was like, fuck it, we're just going to have it in this said time period. So just keep it there, like just keep it set in the 80s or set it in the 90s. It doesn't progress through time. And then they was like, damn, we did all this work for no reason then. Or it's like they're making so much money, which they are. They're making so much money off of GTA 5. It's like, fuck it. We don't need to come out with GTA 6 anytime soon. And we could just take our time. Those are the two biggest reasons why GTA 6 is taking this long. Because in this case, you can't talk about Red Dead Redemption without talking about GTA 6. Because the same crew that made this Red Dead Redemption, because I'm on it now, the same crew making this had their hand in making GTA. So, you know they have to take their resources out to work on this game. Because here was another key point that people missed, is because, okay, you had event weeks. Then they turned the whole event week into the like there has to be like a real legit reason why they did that, to make an event month. Because that just seems odd for Rockstar to do that with no real explanation while everybody's talking about Save Red Dead. And it's like, oh, here's to pacify people, we're going to make an event month. That's not good enough. So there has to be a reason why they did this thing. I mean, there's like little clues that people have to pick up on that it seems like people are completely missing. I mean, and then truth be told, even if you look at Red Dead Redemption, it's like they created themselves into a corner. Because, like, I'm watching this dude, he went back and played the original Red Dead. And you could tell that it's basically the same locations. They just made it bigger and updated the original Red Dead for Red Dead Redemption 2. They went back in time. So it's almost like they limit themselves from what they could do, because not to mess up the timeline of the original game. So they have to use the same like locations for certain missions. Even though they could still put Guam in, they could make Mexico, but they seem like they're not doing that. So everybody's stuck with the map that we got. So there has to be like a legit reason, again, why they're not doing nothing for Red Dead Redemption. I mean, the game has what it takes to be better than what we all got. But at the same time, though, they would be messing up their own timeline from this to the original Red Dead. But like I said, they still could add something. And a lot of people are giving them suggestions, which I'm pretty sure $1 to a donut, they already heard and know about these things. They probably already thought about it before this whole Red Dead Save Red Dead Redemption like hashtag happened. I guarantee you they already thought about these same things that everybody else is telling them. Like, oh, won't you add that? Won't you add that? And they're like, dude, we already thought about that. And then you got to think about the cut content, because like GTA 5 had a lot of cut content that they added in online. And so don't you think they did the same thing, or they could do the same thing for Red Dead Redemption? But they're just, I mean, it's rude, in my opinion, to not communicate with people that's, asking, won't you do this, won't you do that? And they just radio silent. It's like, man, fuck you then. That's how I will feel about it. And everybody's acting like some abused housewife. Like, oh, we don't like Red Dead, and Rockstar used to be my favorite company, but now after this, like, oh, I don't like Rockstar no more, but if people want me to stream it, I mean, I'll stream it. I'm done. I'm done with Red Dead Redemption. I'm done after this. If they don't put nothing out for January, I'm done. January comes, I'm still streaming. I mean, if you done, let be done with it. Don't sit up there and stay in an abusive relationship knowing people are ignoring you on purpose, and they know you're asking for something, but they're ignoring you on purpose. It's like, why stay? See, my whole thing was, I never played this. Well, I will say this. My story with Red Dead Redemption was because even Red Dead Online beta was odd, but I played this from the beginning. I beat this like in like 3 to 4 days, the story mode. So when they did online and they had beta, I played it for a minute, like maybe a day or two. And hearing that they wasn't going to make an invite only session or passive mode, I said, fuck this. So I stopped playing it. And then somebody online that I know was like, play Red Dead Redemption with me. And I was like, I don't know about that. But then they kept pressuring me. So I said, you know what, fuck it. I'll play, because it seemed like you want somebody else to play with you. Nobody else is playing it. So I'll volunteer. And so I'm like, I got into this gunfight. I was the only one because my friend like bounced somewhere. And I was like the only one. I'm getting killed by all these players. They was ganging up on me. So I said, you know what? Fuck Red Dead Redemption. I'm never playing this shit. And so it took me like a long time. And anytime they came out with a DLC, I checked it out for like maybe less than 10 minutes. And I was like, fuck it, this is boring. I left. Like, so I would say out of the whole time, from when they came out with online up until 2020 last year, I probably put in like, I don't know, like less than 5 hours on Red Dead Online. But then, again, my friend asked me, come back and play this. GTA 5, I was getting tired of it. Because, a lot of people are getting tired of it because we've been in the same city for like how many years? It'll be 9 this year. So it was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'll do it. And for some odd reason, the whole game grew on me. It wasn't that bad. Because, hearing how hard it is for new players, that was the reason why. It was like it was hard, but it was like I said, it was growing on me. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it just did. So I got hooked to it. I was like, fuck it. But while I was like basically new, all these other veteran players that's been playing it for like 2.5 to 3 years was like, it's boring. But I'm like, to me, all this is basically new. Like, the legendary bounties, I was like, damn, what's this? Just everything about the game. Once my friend really like showed me the ropes and how to use like, how to play the game basically. I was like, this shit ain't bad. I mean, it's boring, it's new boring. It's not like GTA. Like GTA is just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we've been here, done this. We played the heist like 1,000,000 times. It's old. But the whole thing about the Red Dead Online beta, that was crazy. Because that literally didn't make any sense looking at it in hindsight. Because this is not like this is Rockstar's first rodeo. They already had, like, forget San Andreas and the first Red Dead Online. But, like, you can't even really forget about it. But with GTA 4, they had a good enough online mode. They had what was it? Co-op with matchmaking. They had um, what is it? Death match. They had other stuff. So then when they came out with GTA 5, it was like a huge success. I mean, they had everything. That's why it's the company that it is now. They had a huge success with GTA 5 online. But then here's Red Dead Online. Then you say it's beta. Like, this is your first time doing this. Like, it made me think then, why is it beta? Like they didn't know what they was doing. Like, this is the first time they ever made an online game was with Red Dead Redemption 2 online. Like, this is the first time that Rockstar made one. They was asking people like, oh, well, any suggestions? We got a suggestions page. Tell us what you want to see and what, help us make this experience better. And I'm like, you already, like, why do you need a page? Like, you've already got GTA 5. And everybody was telling you to make a invite only in passive mode, but it was like, no, we don't want that. Again, it didn't make any sense. That was clue number one right there. Like, why did they need help making this? Like, asking people for suggestions. Like, they didn't know what they was doing. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. Like, all these people just talking about, like Red Dead Redemption. You ever think about asking finding a developer or something? Because like I said, it would not take long. They could have like at least a 5-man skeleton crew to make like just contact missions for Red Dead Redemption. I mean, that's all they need. But like I said, it just seems like it's crunch time now for GTA 6. Because like I said, you gotta wonder why they're not making nothing for Red Dead Redemption. And people are asking for it. They don't even need to sit up there and even, like, Rockstar doesn't have to make a paragraph. All they could do is just make a bullshit statement. Like, we hear people's concerns. We're working on something. That's all they have to say. That if they said that would shut the whole conversation down because, okay, at least they said something. I mean, Roger Clark even said something about it before they did. Oh wow. Anyway, yeah, that's all they have to say. Like, well, we hear people's concerns. We're working diligently on the next update. Boom. That's it. They don't have to say no more than that. But they're not even saying that. That shit is rude. That's 100% bogus. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they're just radio silence on the whole thing. Like, that's extremely fucked up. And it just makes you wonder why. Like, it was just, like, out of all the video game companies, like, you hear video game companies, they communicate with a lot of people. But Rockstar, even though they're notorious for not saying stuff to people, but this time, this is like unprecedented. And you would think they would come out and say something, but they're not saying nothing. And that's like extremely fucked up. But like I said, it will not take you long to do anything extra. I mean, hell, they basically already got Mexico from part 1. So, I mean, what's the deal now? I mean, they could easily add Mexico. They could easily add Mexico in this. And matter of fact, in the time that they was like, I would say, they knew that they was going to do the whole event month a couple months ago, at least. So they knew that it was going to be like this, or had some inclination about it. They could be like, okay, we need to make Mexico now. We need to at least expand it. We already got Cayo Perico, so it's not like we don't know how to expand something or whatever. So in the time that we're going to be radio silent, we're going to be working on something. Now, like I said, they could take a skeleton crew, update what they already had in the first one, expand it. You already got the materials and all the like assets from part 1 and this to make the Mexico expansion happen. And then there you go. And then later, they could have just put it out there. Here's a few contact missions. And then somewhere down the line, we're going to actually put like a story in this. And there you go. That's all they have to do. They could have shut everybody up right there. And then it's going to be so odd. And you know what? And then Red Dead Redemption, they don't have the time to really flourish with this game. Because, like I said, they're already talking about GTA 6 going to be like, they're going to say something about it this year. So, even if they do come out with a DLC, like Red Dead Redemption is not going to have like that long to flourish like that because of GTA 6. I would say even if they did come out with a DLC, they said, okay, fuck it. We're coming out with some new content with this shit. And, you know, we're going to come out like every 6 months or whatever the case is. GTA 6 will be out in no time, and then this basically will be dead. Because nobody's going to care about Red Dead Redemption after that. Unless you was just some hardcore Western fan, or you really, really like this game after GTA 6 is out. But nobody's going to care after a while. Even if you do put like DLCs for this out, nobody's going to care about this. I mean, that's like I said, that's messed up, but I mean, that's just how the cookie crumbles. They squandered like a whole year by not doing anything for Red Dead Redemption now. They wasted a whole year. Like, what was the last DLC? 2020? That was just one. And then nothing this year. Nothing. Or was it like June or something? Whatever it was. Like I said, they wasted a lot of time by basically not doing anything, which they could have done. There's no excuse for Rockstar to not do anything. But they did. And so, like I said, by the time they actually do something for this game, GTA 6 will be out and nobody will care. But like I said, they screwed this up bad. But again, Rockstar didn't intend this to be all that anyway. Because like I said, I've said this before in people's like comment sections. All Rockstar titles that's not Grand Theft Auto are serious prototypes for GTA 6. That's what this is. That's all this is. It's just to test out certain stuff. Look at Bully. Bully is another example. From what we've heard, that they said Bully is playable, but they keep scrapping it. It's been in development hell. So there you go. I mean, they already have these things, but they just don't use them. You see what I'm saying? And it's just like, how many people was on that project that they moved over to GTA 6? They, again, like Bully is nothing. Bully was like whatever they did for Bully, what Bully 2, that they're not doing nothing with, they're going to port over to GTA 6 that's feasible for that game. Like one of Bully's weapons was a slingshot. Like, you won't see a slingshot really in a GTA game. But like whatever else he's doing, like other like cool mechanics that they could implement, like they don't have to go far because they did it in Bully. They said, fuck it, since we're not using it here, we're just gonna put it in 6. That's all these games are. That's all Red Dead Redemption 2, Max Payne. Max Payne was basically for the gun mechanics. Red Dead Redemption is for the environment. Bully 2 was like, certain other mechanics for modern time or whatever the case is. But that's all these Rockstar titles are. These are just good, very good prototypes to get money from it, to put in the GTA games, and just to test out the assets, test out this, test out that, for their main bread and butter. I mean, you could clearly see it. And as a game developer, it's completely obvious. It's like 100% obvious. I mean, it is like right in your face obvious. But like I said, nobody asks. It's just all these gamers just talking about basically their perspective on why they think. I mean, like, okay, it goes back to the whole, like, the analogy about the kid with the Tonka truck. Like, the kids are playing with the Tonka truck and be like, oh, it's cool playing with trucks. Here's a dude who's a mechanic that could make trucks. And it's like, oh, we don't want to hear your perspective. Like, I know how to make the thing you're playing with. But it's like, oh, you don't want to hear it. And you just want to be blind and talking to the people, just be like, oh, just, like, this is what we want, and this is what we want. And it's truth be told, like, again, with that whole bounty hunter, like, I keep hearing this all the time. We want a lawman, like a lawman DLC, but you already have the bounty hunter role. Like, the only difference between that being a lawman in 1899 and being a bounty hunter is the actual Keystone Cop uniform. That's the only difference that you will have. That you already got a bounty wagon. You already, get criminals, put them in a bounty wagon, and send them to the sheriff. Even if you want to be like, well, we could look up clues and find where the bounties are, they already have that in there where you keep finding these clues and tracking them down like some bloodhound. They already got that. So what would be so different that they would have to go out of their way to give everybody a lawman expansion that's basically not already in the game? Even if you wanted to be like, what about train robbers? We want to rob trains. Technically, that's already in there. You already got the red, what's it called, Red Bend game. That's already there. Then you got the blood money thing when you have to, like, there's a part of the mission that you could set off fireworks to distract the lawmen, get on the train, and steal the emerald or whichever gem that was. That's technically already there. The train robbery technically is already there. I know what people want. They talking about a full-fledged heist. like like GTA style heists. Like there's just like different parts and different like prep missions you gotta do. But Rockstar could be like, we already gave you the heist mission. But everybody made fun of Capital IA. Even though that is stupid. With Capital IA, that's dumb. But Rockstar could be like, we technically gave you the train robber. You already got it. I mean, there's nothing else to say. They already gave everybody the train robber. Even though they should, like, that's not enough, and they should give people more. But, like I said, there's obviously something going on. I mean, because it does not take you long to do this stuff. It literally does not take you long. I mean, I already got so much shit on my computer, and I've been doing this for like not that long. And I'm just one person. You got a whole studio, and they can't give people like a Mexico expansion. I even sat up there and told Rockstar, nobody listens to my Twitter account though, but I sat up there and asked Rockstar, look, I'll make Mexico for you for free as an intern. Because it's super easy. I mean, they already got the canyons. They got the desert. They already have that. But it's just, they're not doing nothing. I mean, that's, and again, that is just room for them not to be telling anybody anything. What can I say? Rockstar's not my company. So, and then like I said, like for me personally, I'm still playing the game like it's new. Even though I got 2 different accounts with 2 different characters. I got one character that's 123, level 123, and then I'm working on my main account, which I'm basically hustling backwards. My main character is 79. So I'm still, me personally, I'm still enjoying the shit because it's still new to me. But everybody else that got like millions of, like a couple $100,000, like 400 bars of gold and shit, they like, we want some new shit. And it's like, I could get that. But just asking Rockstar, like, you don't know about that. Like, I mean, you're gonna be waiting for a long time. And then this is what is today? It's Saturday. It's like what, January 29th or some shit like that. If they were gonna put out something, you would have seen them update QA beta at least like 2 weeks ago. So when February 1st comes around, they're not gonna put out nothing. This is gonna be another event month. And it's probably going to be some limited time clothes, some other discounts, and that's it. Unless they surprise everybody, by updating the game with like big DLCs without using QA beta. But I highly doubt that. So therefore, February is going to be another event month. And people are going to be complaining. People are going to be making videos. It's just like, me, I would just be like, fuck it. I'll just come back whenever they make some new shit. If I ever get bored of this, which I basically am, but some of the stuff is still new. Like I haven't done, what was it? What's the thing? A new source of employment, never did that yet. A tough business, haven't done those yet. So there's some stuff that I haven't done to keep me occupied. But all these veterans that's been on here forever, they did. And Rockstar needs to do something about it. But I'm gonna just basically leave it like that. So I don't know. February, watch. Here come the videos. I mean, it's sad, but if you really done with this shit, then stop playing it. Stop streaming it. I mean, but if you gonna keep streaming it and playing it, then I mean, what? Like, because Rockstar is going to be sitting up there like, what are you complaining for then? Like, all they care about is the engagement and who's paying. That's all they care about. They don't care about like, oh, I'm done. But it's like you're still playing it though. That's basically their main priority is getting money from microtransactions. The second priority is player engagement. That's it. I mean, hell, even when I was working on my second account, I had my first account. My main account was like what, level, I think 14. And then I was working on my second account. My second account, I was working on that. So halfway through, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna delete my main account because I'm not going to be playing this like that. I'm only doing it because a friend asked me to." So I said, "I'm not doing this. I'm not working on the main account." So I deleted that character. I deleted it. So fuck it. Kept working on the second account. Around at the end of December, like I said, the game did grow on me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to recreate a character on my main account. Rockstar looked at that and was like, yes. With the whole Save Red Dead Redemption Online, the whole Save Red Dead Online hashtag, they saw my account create another character. Boom. Okay. Then, I'm not a type of person to be grinding on a video game. Grinding is hard enough in real life. Now you want me to do it twice in a game? No. So I bought microtransactions. At least, how much? At least $200 worth of the shit. Rockstar's like, this is the motherfucker we want. In January, I bought at least $200 worth of microtransactions and started a new character. Boom. Like I said, they don't care about people complaining about the shit. All they care, they saw my account basically get activated and I was paying. They're like, what's the big deal about the hashtag? And then I'm sitting up there playing this, you know, doing the whole Jessica Leclerc missions, and I'm seeing new players. I'm seeing level 10, level 18, level 12. So obviously other people, rather they got back on it, or they started a new character like I did. So they really like, even if it's the latter, they're like, what's the problem? At least, if they're not buying microtransactions, at least we got new players and it's engaging. Like, the hashtag isn't hurting them. Unless I would say a good chunk, like more than 50% of the Red Dead and I would say GTA player base said, fuck it, we ain't playing no Rockstar games until you add something for Red Dead Redemption. Then you will hear something from Rockstar, because people are not playing the game, people are not going to be buying microtransactions. That's how you get their attention, like, oh shit, we got to say something. Like, wait. You want a Mexico expansion? You want real train robberies? You know, real heists? Okay, just give us a couple of months. Come on, players. You know, we're listening to the community. We'll put the stuff out there, and that's what would get their attention. You complaining about it, making a hashtag, especially when people are still making new characters and buying microtransactions. They're like, fuck y'all that's making these videos. We don't give a fuck about that, because we just care about the players that's engaging with our shit. You can make all the hashtags you want. You can make all the videos you want. You can make 50-minute videos. We don't care. We just care about people buying gold and playing our shit. So you can take those videos and shove them up your ass. That's how they're looking at it. I mean, whenever the time comes when my shit gets finalized, I'm not going to be doing that to the people that's playing my shit. I mean, if people wanted to ask questions, me or my staff and my company will answer them. They be like, "Oh, this is what's going on." They're asking for something. They be like, "Oh, we were already in the process of making that anyway." So, we'll let people know. But just to be radio silent when all this shit is going on, like, that's fucked up on Rockstar's part. Like, you have a whole community that wants to engage with your game and you say nothing. Like, you know how fucked up that is? That shit is mad crazy. What is this dude doing? Anyway, yeah, that's just extremely crazy. Like, they're not saying nothing. I mean, like I heard this comment a lot, that other video game companies will kill for Rockstar's, like, Red Dead Redemption's audience, and you're just going to neglect the whole community like that? That's some fucked up shit. But they're in a position where they don't care, because again, people are buying the microtransactions, or the second best case scenario, people are still playing the game. And you see it a lot. Even whether it's new players or even people complaining about it, people are still doing something. And that's all they care about. They don't care about you whining about the shit. They just don't care. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. I mean, it's a vicious cycle. It sounds like an abusive relationship, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's all. That's all I gotta say. I'm out.